Hello and welcome to this video. Today I just want to be taking a quick look at the Tapo C460. This is a relatively new camera, or at least it is to the UK market. I can't find much information about this on YouTube or many other websites, whether it be video or forum. Yeah, so I'm not a reviewer. This is my first video. I just wanted to take a look and show the people what I would have wanted to see before buying this. I was already going to buy a Tapo camera, and I was going to go for a 2K. I can't remember what the model number was, but it looks like they've just released this in the UK in the last couple of weeks, and I've stumbled upon it. So, yep, this is a 4K 8 megapixel. It's the Tapo C460. It's got a 10,000 milliamp battery, which should last a little bit, but with it being magnetic and easily to remove, it shouldn't be too much of a pain to take down and charge. So let's take a look at what's inside the box. Okay, so I've taken a quick look at this stuff. I've turned on the camera, I've had a look at the quality. It seems like a good camera so far. I've literally just connected it to the app and that's about it. But yeah, so we've got the USB Type-C here, and underneath here we've got a power button, a reset button, and the MicroSD card slot. I would open it up, but I bite my nails, so I can't. This here is for mounting onto this or any sort of 3.5mm screw, which is located on pretty much all tripods, monopods, and anything at all. Okay, so one thing I like about this camera quite a lot is for this, if you wanted to mount this on, and you can mount it here or here, and you can take this off, screw into the back onto the wall, and then it's a fixed thing. Once you tighten it down, this will then become more solid and not as flimsy. You can also use these with rubber feet. So for example, if you wanted to stick this on the side and never mount it onto a wall, you can then just use it as a camera that can also pivot. So that's that, pretty standard. And now onto this, which I thought was pretty cool. So this is a magnetic base, and this will essentially, this screws onto the wall, and then this gets put onto this gets put onto the camera, and then you can angle it into a few different positions. It is magnetic, and this is the option that I'm going to go for. It makes more sense for my use case. I am a renter, not a homeowner, so I don't really want to go drilling into walls or anything like that. What I will say though is the magnetic force on this is fairly strong. I think if someone threw a rock at it, I don't think it would come off straight away. Maybe after a few attempts, or with a stick or a grabber, potentially, yeah. However, this, I can't stress how strong this is. Once that's on, it's so hard to take off. You can, but it's a very, very strong magnet. I can guarantee that this will never come off through someone trying to run past and grab it, or with stones or sticks, or this will not separate from this. It's almost guaranteed. However, this base going onto the camera, yes, it could come off. But yeah, for my use case, I'm going to need both of these. And my plan is to put nano tape onto the back of this. And then this is going to go into the window, which will obviously connect to this, and this will connect to this. I don't really want to start drilling holes into any walls or anything like that. And I know that nano tape is very strong. I've used it in all sorts of weather conditions. I trust it, but I don't recommend anyone else doing this. This is just because I fancy it. The camera itself, I love that on the kind of ring lens style thing here, we've got the Tapo wire-free security camera, and then it also says 4K 8 megapixel Ultra HD. Should be good quality, and we're going to do some tests later on in daytime and also at nighttime. Also in the box, you've got wall plugs and screws. You've got your USB-C cable, and finally, if I can pick these up. Like I said, I bite my nails, I'm stupid. We've got the quick start guide. I've just connected this to the app. Really easy. I've used a good few Tapo products. I've got smart plugs and things like that, which actually, speaking of, because this is a fairly new product to the market, I got a free plug and this was on offer. I bought it for £90 and I think it was supposed to be 120 or something like that. So I've got quite a good deal on it, and I just so happened to stumble upon it. I wasn't looking for a 4K camera, but it was an extra, I think, 10 or 15 pounds to go from 2K to 4K, so I thought, why not? The quick start guide, really easy. You've got your certifications and these, which will help you put this onto a wall, drill into it, and then they will also then match up onto this, so you know that you're getting it in the right place. And what's the last thing? Just contacts, warranty card kind of stuff. Okay, so that's it. Let's go take a look at the footage. Let's go take a look at daytime, nighttime. There's also a built-in communication two-way system where you can listen to the person and you can also speak to the person. So this might be handy for you for, instead of buying a Ring doorbell as well as this, you could put this in a place where you can see the person, you get a motion activation, they've knocked on the door, and you can quickly just nip onto the app and just say, hey, just leave the parcel there, blah blah blah. Cool, let's go take a look at some footage. Okay, so the camera is up. I've decided to mount the tape vertically because that gives the best hold, and I've gone with Gorilla Tape, which is the crystal clear mounting tape. It's double-sided, it's like nano tape, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, although I've tried and tested this. I think it's perfect for my use case. I'm confident it's not going to fall off the window, and if it does, that's on me. I wouldn't recommend it to you guys because if anything happens, you know, it's a £100 camera. I wouldn't want it to fall. So I've currently got it mounted to angle to capture kind of the front of the garden all the way up until about the bottom of my fingers there. And the reason for it is I've got a 6-second pre-roll. I've got it set up for cars to be captured in this area. That's my car there. So people have to mount the curb to come past, and it's essentially the whole reason why I bought this camera, is just in case anything happens. So when people turn off onto the road, it will start capturing people here. I've got the person detection here, and any also motion detection. So let's just do a little comparison from, so this is the Galaxy S25 Ultra, and that's what it looks like in 4K. And now let's do a comparison. Okay, so let's take a look at the Tapo application for the camera. So just at the very top here, we can see that we've got the stream of data going from the camera to my router. This can be quite handy because if you're out of the house and your camera's stuttering or something's happening when you look at the app, we can see that it's sending a nice amount of data from the camera to my router. So we know for a fact that there's nothing wrong with the camera or my internet. It must be a problem that's on your end. So that's a nice little diagnostic thing. Next up, we've got the camera battery, which is nice because then you can plan when you're going to charge the batteries. So if we move into the top right, which is the settings icon, we can see at the very top we've got detection. So let's start there. So the wake up sensitivity is quite a nice little feature that they've got here. So at the very top we've got wake up sensitivity, and at the bottom it's got detection range test. So what this has allowed me to do is I press that button and the test starts, and I was able to walk around my garden playing with the sensitivity levels to see when it will detect me, and it lets me know that it can see me by giving me a little flash from the camera. So every time that I moved, it would flash, and I know for a fact that the sensitivity number 7 works perfectly for my garden. It's a nice little peace of mind. It helps you, set up and just
let it run straight away instead of having to, you know, oh, I'm going to try and have it down here, and then the next day you've got it up at 10 because you missed something important. It's just for that initial setting up this is, and it's a nice little feature that they've implemented. Coming back out of that, we can see the detection zones. So let's click up here, and we've got set for all and set for each. I've done each because the place where it's going to detect vehicles, I don't want it to detect people. So I've got, if we click just here where it says edit, we can see for motion. So if anything happens within the garden area, such as a tree falls or an animal goes in there or anything like that, it will record. And then if we tap person up here, it's the exact same parameters, and I've not set pet up because I don't really care. But if we go into vehicle, we can see that I've got it set all the way up here out of the garden. There's a chance that people can hit my car. It hasn't happened, hopefully it doesn't happen, but this is the main reason why I bought the cameras, because at some point it inevitably probably will. So if we come back out of this section, we can see what detection types that we've got turned on. So if you do want the pet detection, you go here and you just turn that on. Coming back out of this, so next to detection we've got alarm, and we've got detection alarm here, which is a bit aggressive, you know, to have for my use case scenario, but you might have the camera in a place where nobody is supposed to be. So when there is a detection, you want an alarm to go off so that, you know, intruders or whoever realizes that they're in the wrong and they should be leaving. Just below that, we've got the anti-theft alarm, which is for if it detects that there's hands or fingers or it's being, you know, wiggled or moved or disconnected, then it will set off a siren that is apparently quite loud. I've got that turned off just because it's very early days. I'm probably going to be taking the camera off and playing with it and moving it, and I might put an SD card in it, so I don't really want that blaring in my ear. So I've got that off for the time being. Just underneath that, we've got the battery status, which will give some nice little stats for you. So you can see just how quick that your camera is discharging. If it's discharging at quite a fast rate, you will be able to see here, obviously I've only just set the camera up today, but you'll be able to see here exactly how and when, and you know, you might be able to figure out why, you know, was there a lot of activity that day, or is it a camera setting that you've got? Have you recently changed a camera setting and that's pulling a lot more battery out? So you've got some nice little stats here to go through. Coming back out of that, we can go into storage and recording. Local recording I've got turned off because I don't have a microSD card plugged into the camera. I've got Tapo Premium, so everything goes up to the cloud pretty much instantly. I'm never going to go and start taking an SD card out and uploading the data onto my computer manually. Not when I've got that feature anyway. So we can see that we've got record sound on, and if we go into clip settings, we've got re-trigger time, so that there's a small little break in between each clip, and then you've got record buffer, so when it sees that, you know, motion is finished or the person has left, it will then continue recording for 6 seconds. And finally, we've got the maximum clip length. This goes all the way up to 120 seconds, but I want mine nice and short. Nothing drastic really should be happening, so I've got mine set to the minimum. And coming back out of that, we can go into video and display. At the very top here, we've got night mode settings. So we've got infrared mode, which will show the stereotypical black and white image. If we change to color mode, we can see this is quite a dark environment, but it's tried its best to pull through as much color as it can. So if I come back out of this and I can show you my garden, you can see the difference between black and white and color there. Obviously in the daytime, the grass will be more vivid and green, but it's currently nighttime and pretty much pitch black at 8 o'clock in March. So let's go back into the settings, back into video and display, and I'm going to change that back to infrared mode. You've got the viewing distance here of near, medium and far. That is how crisp you want the image to be. I've done a little comparison between near and far, There's a little bit of difference when you zoom in. It's not crazy, so I've stuck mine on medium. Come back out of that, and we've got video quality, we've got 4K, 720, and auto. I've bought a 4K camera. I want 4K quality, but I know that the battery will go down a little bit quicker because of that. Luckily, I'm in a situation where my camera is located in a handy place where I can just pull it out dead easily, so I'm fine with that. And also, I've got pretty good internet, and it's pretty close to the router as well, so I shouldn't have a problem sending that data to the router. If you've got any other problems with battery or Wi-Fi signal, then you'll maybe want to consider going down to 720p. And coming back out of that, we've got privacy zones, which I've got turned off, distortion correction, which we can see here. Currently, it's got this fisheye lens type thing, which most cameras do have. It's not a unique feature to this camera. And when I turn that correction on, you can see that things like the stairs, the railing, everything is straight as it should be. And when you turn it off, you can see there's a little bow. It's mainly around the top and bottom and sides that you'll be able to see the distortion on your own cameras. But I like to have this off. It just gives you a little bit more viewing angle. And you come out of that, and we've got auto exposure. I would recommend having this on, because as you can see here with this child's face, it's lost quite a lot of detail, and same with the fur. You can see all the different little shades, whereas here you can't. Having this turned on might be the difference between capturing someone's facial features and not. So of course I would want to have that on. I don't want pet auto feature on. So let's go down. Detection tag. I'm not really too sure why this is a thing, but it will tell you what it has recorded. It will point out the thing, and then you can also add a label to it, as seen there. Don't really know why someone would want that, but it's there if you need it. On-screen display info, you've got the timestamp, which is nice to have. Display text if you want to have the camera name, or you can put, front garden or whatever you need. And then the display logo. I don't want the logo, and I don't want text, but I will have the timestamp. Where are we? So we've got display tag on screen, and I've got the speed tag, which is this here, because it's nice for little diagnostics. And I don't need the live recording thing, so I've turned that off. Coming back out of that, we've got spotlight settings. So the camera has 2 spotlights, one on either side of the lens, and this does exactly what it says. If you want it low, then you can turn the brightness down, and if you want the brightness to the absolute maximum, then you can turn it up. This will affect your battery life, so just be conscious of that. Your status LED, that is, there's a small little LED in the middle of the camera. If it's recording or on, there will just be a light on, very, very small, but it's noticeable. I've kept mine on. I'm not trying to be secretive about the camera, but in your case, maybe you need to, so you can turn that off just there, which I now need to wait to turn it back on. Your network connection, if you tap on this icon here, you get this number, and that shows your signal strength. If you've got Wi-Fi issues, then this number here will tell you if that's the problem, really. The higher that number, the worse it is. 59 isn't the best in the world, but it's also certainly not bad. Privacy mode, don't need that. Notifications. Okay, so this is something that needs to be set up, or at least I needed it set up. I want to have notifications on. I want to have rich notifications on, which means that you get a little snapshot of why you've received the notification. So it'll give you like a little picture. This is a premium feature, by the way. And the activity type, this is the main reason why I needed to configure this, because if we go in, I don't want motion detection, person detection, pet, and vehicle. I don't need them all on. I only need to know if someone's in my garden when I'm out and about, or even if I'm in the house. It's nice to know that someone's in the garden. But I don't care if a car's driven past. I don't care if there's a leaf that's gone through my garden and I've already got this turned off. So I only need this one on. Otherwise, you'll probably be bombarded with notifications. Now, if we come back out of this, you can set a schedule. So that is what it says. You can set a schedule so that maybe at night, between, I don't know, your bedtime and waking up time, you don't want to get notifications. So you can set it so that that won't ping through to your phone. And we come back out of that. And really the last thing is smart actions. I absolutely love smart actions. There's quite a few different things that you can do when you've got a few different Tapo products. So if we go into this, we can see when you arrive home or when you leave home. You can customize it to completely different things as well, but I've got several plugs around the house. I've got several lights around the house. I've configured mine to do a few different things upon me arriving and leaving the house. One of the things, for example, which is quite cool, is if I come all the way back out into my complete application home screen, we can see attic. So this is where I have my little gaming station. So before I go upstairs, I will press on and it will turn everything on, including the radiator, so the room can get up to temperature, you know, for 5-10 minutes before I go upstairs. One of the other things that I've set up is I've got a hygrometer in the cellar to stop it from getting moldy and stinky. So I've got it set up so that if it goes up to 70% humidity, then it will trigger for my dehumidifier to turn on, all the way until it goes down to 60. So if I go into show more, today's been a bit of a funny day, so ignore today, but if I can see yesterday's, you can see it's been on, off, on, off, on, off, and that's because of the hygrometer measuring the humidity in the room. Just little things like that you can do. You know, check it out. They've got some really, really cool products. That's the end. That's the end of the application. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching.